$1 million a month for alimony and a luxury car? My wife demanded it after just 6 months of marriage, but the judge saw through her lies. My name is Ethan Grayson. I'm 34 years old, and I built my tech empire from the ground up. It all began in a cramped garage in Brooklyn. I sold my first app at 19. Today, I run Grayson Innovations, a firm now valued at $1.4 billion. I always believed in love, not just the kind you see in movies or read about in novels. Real love, the kind built on loyalty, mutual respect, compassion, and sacrifice. I believe that when two people promise forever, they mean it, through storms, through success, through silence, and through noise. But nothing, and I mean nothing, prepared me for what came after marrying the woman I thought was the love of my life. 6 months of marriage, and she wasn't just asking for a divorce. She was demanding $1 million a month in alimony and a brand new Rolls-Royce Phantom. Why? According to her, because you're filthy rich, and the law says I'm entitled to it. That sentence. It wasn't just a demand. It was a slap across everything I believed in. This is how it all unfolded. I met Olivia Bennett at a tech entrepreneurship summit in Boston. She was magnetic, MBA from Wharton, background in IT consulting, dressed like a Vogue spread, and spoke with the kind of confidence that didn't need validation. We bonded over ambition. She said she wanted to launch her own fintech startup and needed a break from the corporate grind. It all felt so aligned. So I opened up, emotionally and financially. We dated for a year before tying the knot in Manhattan. The wedding was a tasteful $400,000 affair at the Plaza, her dream venue. I didn't think twice. I had the money, and I was in love. For the first 2 months, things were fine. Then, everything changed. But now, looking back, I ask myself, did I miss any red flags? Maybe I did. She never talked much about her past relationships, said they were irrelevant now. She always spoke about marriage like a milestone rather than a partnership. She insisted on signing a prenup, but only if she drafted it. I didn't argue. I thought it was progressive. She once told a friend, half jokingly, if you're going to marry, marry up. I laughed it off, brushed it away. Love makes you ignore the sharp edges. She spent hours researching luxury real estate, even before we got engaged. She'd bring me listings of penthouses and mansions, none under 8 figures. Said, a man like you shouldn't live in anything less. Was it admiration or calculation? I couldn't tell. Not then. I thought she was driven, sophisticated, clear about what she wanted. Now, I wonder, was I falling in love? Or was I just a ladder she planned to climb? 3 weeks after the wedding, she quit her 6-figure job. I want to focus on us, she said. At first, I thought it was sweet, selfless, even. We had enough money. If she wanted time to breathe, I wouldn't deny her that. But then came the credit card charges, shopping sprees at Saks Fifth Avenue, private salon visits, $12,000 a month suite memberships at the Park Club. She started asking for money transfers to maintain independence, even though we had joint accounts. I didn't question it, not at first. Love makes you rationalize. I told myself, she's just adjusting. But something in her changed. She stopped checking in. Her kisses became mechanical. Her eyes stopped lighting up when I walked in the room. It was subtle at first, missed dinners, fewer conversations, shorter texts. But by month 5, our relationship had started to strain. We weren't even sleeping in the same room. She said, we're just different now. You work too much. I'm building our future, Olivia, I said. What do you expect? For me to just stop showing up to the company I spent 15 years creating? She shrugged. I didn't marry a laptop. I married a man. I tried. I started coming home earlier. Booked weekend getaways. Hired a chef so she wouldn't feel like she had to plan anything. But she always had an excuse. I'm tired. I already made plans. Can we just not talk right now? And that's when I caught her texting someone, under the name Lena. I remember the moment too clearly. She had left her phone on the marble kitchen island while stepping out to take a delivery. A message preview flashed on the screen. Baby, only a few more weeks. He suspects nothing. My heart pounded. I opened the thread. The texts were anything but friendly. Flirty messages, half-naked photos, and explicit conversations about what she'd get out of this marriage. One line burned into my memory. The way he throws money around. I'll be set for life once I file. He's too busy to notice anything. I waited until she came back inside. She was humming, smiling, carrying a bag of skincare products. I held her phone out. Who's Lena? She froze. For one split second, her mask slipped. But she recovered almost instantly. It's just a friend. I turned the screen toward her, scrolled, showed her the photos, the texts, the plans. She didn't deny anything. Instead, she sighed, rolled her eyes. Ethan, you're barely around. You're either working, traveling, or talking about work. What did you think would happen? I thought you loved me, I said. She didn't even flinch. I love the version of you that showed up. But he disappeared after the honeymoon. I was silent. She stepped closer, voice lower. I was lonely. You weren't available. I had to think about me. I could have screamed, thrown something, walked out. But instead, I just stood there, frozen in disbelief. Then she said something that shook me even more. And honestly, I've earned this lifestyle, whether you like it or not. She paused. You think your money is your shield. But courts don't care how busy you are. They care about what you owe. In that moment, I realized. She wasn't angry. She wasn't ashamed. She was calculating. Our marriage wasn't about love. It was a chessboard. And I was just another move in her game. We fought that night. Not with shouting or slamming doors, but with cold, quiet words that left deeper bruises than a scream ever could. I asked her why everything changed. She didn't answer right away. Just stared at me like I was asking a question with an obvious answer. Things evolve, Ethan. People do too. I pushed harder. Told her I gave her everything. My time, my trust, my life. She simply said, you gave me a lifestyle. And I adapted to it. I stood there, trying to piece together what part of this was ever real. She didn't cry, didn't flinch. There was no trace of the woman I thought I married. Just someone who had already moved on, emotionally and mentally. She packed methodically. Her side of the closet was cleared out in under an hour. Jewelry cases, silk dresses, limited edition heels, all neatly zipped into designer luggage. She wasn't angry. She wasn't sad. She was prepared. When she reached the door, she paused, calm, collected, like she had rehearsed this moment. Then, without even turning around, she said, I'm entitled to the lifestyle you've given me. And soon, the court will agree. And with that, she walked out. No tears, no guilt, just silence, and the echo of that one sentence, playing on repeat in my mind like a verdict already decided. A week later, I was served. Petition for divorce. Filed in Manhattan Supreme Court. But what stopped me cold wasn't the divorce. It was the alimony demand. $1 million a month and a Rolls-Royce. Her lawyer argued. The petitioner has become accustomed to a billionaire lifestyle and gave up her career to support the marriage. The law under New York Domestic Relations Law Section 236 supports her right to maintain the standard of living during the marriage. They cited my net worth, the private jets, the Hamptons house, the staff. But here's the kicker. We'd only been married for 6 months. My legal team, led by powerhouse attorney Sandra Devereaux, was ready. We dug deep. Sandra didn't just read the surface. She dissected Olivia's claims like a forensic analyst. Her team combed through everything. Olivia's spending patterns, her email history, her break from work that, according to LinkedIn, never officially ended. We found inconsistencies, dates that didn't match, statements that contradicted her sworn affidavit. They pulled travel records, private messages, phone logs, even flagged 2 recent offshore financial inquiries Olivia had made under her maiden name, just weeks before filing. It wasn't just about defense anymore. It became a strategy. Sandra leaned back one evening in our third late-night prep session, her reading glasses pushed to the top of her head. We're not just going to defend you, Ethan. We're going to expose the intent behind this entire marriage. We were planning our move like a chess match, quietly, precisely, and timed. Everything, her contradictory statements, her hidden communications, even her sudden interest in luxury real estate before we married, would come to light. The first hearing was surreal. Olivia showed up in a $6,000 Dior dress, carrying a crocodile Hermes Birkin bag, and claimed she was financially broken. Sandra stood up and dropped the first bombshell. Your Honor, the petitioner has been receiving cryptocurrency payments from an offshore consulting firm under a different name while claiming to be unemployed. Here are the transaction records. The courtroom went silent. Olivia's face froze. Justice Eleanor Marks leaned forward. Ms. Bennett, are you aware that failing to disclose income is a form of perjury? Olivia stammered. That was for a friend's company. I didn't keep the money. The judge raised a brow. Yet the wallet is registered to your social security number. Please explain. Olivia asked for a recess. But Sandra wasn't done. When court resumed, my legal team unveiled a full financial profile. Transfers Olivia made to a private bank in Switzerland, pre-divorce inquiries about luxury property in Dubai, and a secondary email account she used to contact multiple wealth advisors while still living under my roof. Sandra kept her voice calm, clinical, surgical. Your Honor, we also have sworn statements from 2 acquaintances who confirm that Ms. Bennett discussed her intention to secure long-term financial compensation shortly after the engagement, even before the wedding occurred. The courtroom gasped. I didn't look at Olivia. I didn't need to. Her silence said enough. Justice Marks narrowed her eyes. This is beginning to appear less like a marriage and more like a strategic acquisition. Olivia's attorney requested a delay to gather context, but the tone had already shifted. And for the first time since she walked out of my home, she didn't look so composed. In the next hearing, we submitted security footage of Olivia secretly recording me, as well as messages between her and her so-called friend, a finance bro she was dating, plotting to bleed me dry and bounce to Mykonos with the payout. Justice Marks didn't need convincing. She turned to Olivia and said, word for word, you are an educated woman with an MBA and experience in high-paying roles in IT and consulting. The law does not exist to reward opportunistic behavior. You are fully capable of self-support. Then she looked Olivia dead in the eye, voice cold and firm. Marriage isn't a lottery ticket, Ms. Bennett, and courts aren't casinos. Then she turned to her attorney. This court will not be used as a weapon for financial extortion based on brief marital ties. The judge denied all alimony requests. The Rolls-Royce? Rejected. Instead, Olivia was ordered to pay legal costs for misleading the court and attempting fraud. To make it worse for her, the offshore crypto dealings triggered an investigation by the IRS. Her face turned pale as the judge's ruling echoed through the courtroom. The confident woman who once told me she was entitled to the lifestyle I gave her now sat frozen, the cracks in her facade impossible to ignore. Her attorney whispered frantically into her ear, but Olivia didn't even nod. She just stared straight ahead, no exit strategy left. Outside the courthouse, the press had picked up wind of the case. What started as a quiet, high-society divorce became headline fodder. Tech billionaire defeats alimony scam in explosive divorce showdown. And for the first time in months, I breathed freely. She used love like a contract. I had signed it in good faith. But she forgot one thing. When you try to game the system, the truth eventually becomes your enemy. And karma? It doesn't care how expensive your handbag is. Olivia tried to settle quietly. I refused. I wasn't interested in revenge. I wanted accountability. She lost her credibility, her consulting license, and her influencer brand sponsorships when the court transcript went public. It turns out one of the paralegals leaked the details to a blogger, and the story went viral. As for me, I moved forward. I got smarter. I still believe in love, but I also believe in prenups now. To any man or woman reading this, never confuse charm with character. Love should be equal, not transactional. And if someone thinks they can cheat karma, well, just ask Olivia how that worked out for her. If this story stunned you, like, share, and subscribe. Karma doesn't always come fast, but when it does, it hits hard.